Hi, welcome to Personality Hacker. My name is Joel Mark Witt.
And I'm Antonia Dodge, and we're going to talk about the ENTP personality type in the Myers Briggs system, or exploration accuracy in the Genius Style Assessment.
Yes, we are going to talk about these people.
And we're going to riff on them a bit. We go more granular in articles and blog posts and probably podcasts. We're going to talk a little bit about ENTPs on a more zoomed out level, though, right now. We're going to kind of riff on them. And one of the reasons why Joel said, yes, we are going to talk about them is because he happens to be married to an ENTP. It's
fun. I like it. It's good stuff.
And who is that?
Yeah.
Who's got two thumbs and is an ENTP? This guy. So I'm an ENTP, and that makes it. I've tried not to be biased.
You know,
I've tried not to be biased about this type.
I like ENTPs. ENTPs bring fun to the world. They bring a feistiness, and they bring this like penetrating ability to correct you. When you, I mean, no, they in a good way. Like they really do. Honestly, I'm not joking. ENTPs have this ability to be fun, bombastic, exciting, and they have the ability to be great at, you know, really getting down to the debate level about whatever subject they might feel an expert in, and they usually are an expert in a lot of subjects. They just like to deep dive into stuff. So they have a lot of insight to bring to the world. I think it's a good thing.
Thank you.
I'm not making fun of ENTPs. I like ENTPs. Obviously, I like ENTPs.
Yeah, well, to some extent, clearly. Well, I think the thing about ENTPs that's good to remember is that they lead with the process, an intuitive process called exploration, or that's what we've nicknamed it. And exploration is all about understanding the world through sort of messing with it. You form patterns, you use exploration to form patterns. Unconscious pattern recognition is really the intuitive process, and you can do that or only do it for an ENTP by messing with your environment. So there's lots of button pushing, lots of toggle switch pulling, and I always think of exploration as basically being like 6 foot tall grass in front of you, and you've got a machete in your hand, and your goal is to blaze a new trail. You know, even if there's lions or tigers in the grass, tigers be damned, right? Like, gotta go blaze a new trail. And I think what's interesting about exploration is that it tends to make people sort of interesting and charismatic, but ENTPs, if they're not careful, can really be kind of dicks. Like, really can. And so, well, I mean, I know that I have been in the past. So the really important thing for an ENTP is to remember to develop that co-pilot process of accuracy. Now, accuracy is a thinking process, and you might think, well, if you're using a thinking process, which is, you know, maybe more cold or analytical, how does that keep you from being, you know, a dick, right? And the answer to that is the more you go into accuracy is incredibly egalitarian. It has this sense of
fair-minded.
Yeah, truth is truth no matter what, right? Like, if the janitor has a great idea, then the janitor is awesome, and that great idea is true, right? Like, it doesn't matter who it came from. And so the more an ENTP gets into that accuracy process, the less they feel the need to sort of put everybody in their place, and the more receptive they are to other people having truth, regardless of where it comes from. So it helps them become more egalitarian. It also helps them understand that there are things that are important to the individual ENTP. And one of those things might be, kindness. Now, I've created a list of core values, which is not so much of an accuracy thing, but I realized when I created a list of core values that it was my accuracy process that made it so that I felt like being a jerk to another person just because they were lowly, right? Like, just because they weren't as in a high position, that offended that egalitarian nature of accuracy. And what I realized is that my assumptions that other people were maybe not as smart as I wanted them to be, or maybe didn't know information, that was me creating a social class for them based on intelligence. And that was offensive to me. But I only understood that about myself when I got into the accuracy process. So for an ENTP, one of the most important things they can do is really develop accuracy in order to get to become the best version of themselves, and not just be somebody who like plays and messes with the environment, but doesn't actually give back to the world in a big way.
Yeah, and so if you take the Genius Style Assessment at our website, you'll get your results. You get a free summary results, or you can get the premium results if you'd like to go on a deep dive. Mm-hmm. And this will kind of break down that growth state, that co-pilot growth of accuracy, what Antonia is talking about, where if you put effort there, and you begin to grow that process, you're really growing your personality. It's personality development for you as an ENTP. It's a really powerful frame to come from, and it opens up a whole new world of growth for all of the personal development you're going to be doing. Because you're really becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I think one of the things that ENTPs do just about better than anybody else, if I say so myself.
That's what she's doing right now.
Is they understand the connection between different concepts. They understand how they meet, they understand how they connect, and how they can build maybe even bigger models. And so there's this real sense of being able to bring new, truly new, innovative concepts to the world, like true invention. And the only way an ENTP can do that is to become the best version of themselves, is to make sure that they're continually developing that co-pilot process of accuracy. So I recommend, if you are an ENTP, if you've already taken the Genius Style Assessment and come out as Exploration Accuracy, I really recommend giving some thought to getting the premium content and figuring out how to be the best version of yourself so that everybody can benefit from how awesome you are.
Yeah.
What do you think is one thing about ENTPs that most people don't know? What is one secret that they have as somebody who is married to an ENTP?
I think ENTPs they have an ability and a desire to be more emotionally connected than they might come off. I mean, this idea of leading with the exploration process, and you're kind of moving through the world, it can look like they're kind of flighty and they're willing to cut off relationship. Maybe a little sooner than most people were like, whoa. But I think that they really do have a sense of deep emotional connection that they're looking for. I think emotional connection is really important. And I think people's emotions are on the ENTP's radar more than you might expect. I think they're really taking that into account. Now, not to let it trip you up as an ENTP, because if that's all you're focused on, then you're not going to be growing that accuracy process. But I think that's something that I would say.
Yeah, I would agree, actually. I think ENTPs have a desire to emotionally connect with other people very powerfully. I think that's one of the reasons why they end up having, or developing a really great sense of humor. Because I think this type loves to connect through laughter, right? That's a social connection component. And I think there's just the sense of really wanting to connect with other people authentically. You use the word flighty. I think that's not a bad word. I think one word is their ability to move on is sometimes surprising to other people, how quickly they can move on from a relationship. I think that actually does surprise a lot of people. But I think that's usually because they're not getting the connection they desire. I think they really do want to be in a truly connected relationship. Yeah,
it's either they're not getting the connection or it's protective to some degree. Either one of those I think could cause that. But,
yeah, I'd agree.
So thank you for joining us for this riff on the ENTP personality, or the exploration accuracy in the Genius system.